Hey, we're live, guys. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is Zach. Utahn Bought And Gone, man. How are you doing? Oh,
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
great, great. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Obviously, you're from Utah. That's in the title. That's kind of a giveaway, right?
Yeah, I am from Utah. Been reselling part-time since I was like 15, 16 years old. And
Right.
I got really into it about 2 years ago, and just it kind of took over where I was like, okay, to the point where I don't even need my 9 to 5. So I ended up quitting my 9 to 5 and tackled reselling full time, and it was the best decision I've ever made. I'm married. I've been married for 2 years. Our anniversary was actually 2 weeks ago, so that was 10 days ago actually. But we have a baby on the way. We've got 3 older children. I've got my niece, my nephew living with me, and they are 5 and 6. And then my oldest son, he will be 13 in November.
And so you're at a Full House. You know that TV show Full House? That's that too, right?
That's me.
Hey, Zach, we're live, bro. So let me say hello to a few people in the chat. First thing, I wanted to give a shout out to Hustlin' Hooks. So if you guys don't know Hustlin' Hooks, you should go by and check them out. They have a great YouTube channel. I wanted to say hey to Death Pile Destroyers. I just met up with him today out here in Lakeland. So if you guys get a chance, you check them out. And I wanted to say hello to the eBay Hustler is here in the house, and Wendy is here. So I wanted to say hey to Wendy. And we have eBliss Reseller Solutions is here. They says, hey, Jeff and Zach. We just had eBliss was on yesterday. So thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. And Flippin' Eric is here. He wants to know, what town are you in? He's also from Utah.
Oh, I'm out in South Jordan. I just barely moved from Sandy 6 months ago.
Yeah. So, hey, Flippin' Eric, if you get a chance, you should track this guy down. I got his Instagram and YouTube is linked down below. So since you guys live in Utah, maybe you should meet up with him and track him down. You guys can go sourcing together or hang out. Hustlin' Hook says, thanks for the love. Well, thank you for coming by and hanging out, man. You're an inspiration to all of us. So we appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us today. And we have Rescue Resell is here. And we have Javela Flips Annie is in the house. And Flippin' Eric says, South Jordan, I should hit you up. Yeah, definitely. Just go by and check them out. Definitely. So go ahead and kind of tell us a little bit about your backstory, because you're right now you're a full-time reseller on eBay and Amazon, but you didn't always used to be a full-time reseller. So talk to a little bit about your journey, because you said you've been reselling since you were 15 years old. So how did that work? Because when I was a young kid and 15 years old, I mean, I was probably playing like Sonic the Hedgehog and eating pizza, back in the day. So I was definitely not reselling on eBay. So tell us your story. Kind of tell us how all this came to be.
Well, my parents actually growing up were doing eBay, and I was into it. I wasn't really, hadn't have my own eBay account and stuff. I just sold things on their eBay. But I ended up getting my girlfriend pregnant at 15. And so you can only work so much, because at 15, you can't even find a job anywhere. So eBay was kind of like, okay, like I can go to the thrift stores after school, because I was trying to make money. I got to pay for diapers, and formula and stuff was coming up. So ended up getting a job when I was 16, and then just doing eBay on the side, just making that extra cash, and it helped me get by. And so, that's kind of what gave me the drive, was my son coming in.
So, and you said your parents were also resellers. Is that correct?
What was that? Sorry?
Your parents, they were also resellers. Were your mom and dad, they were selling on eBay as well, right?
Yeah, they're just part-time. They just did it for fun. They love antiques, and they kind of would just buy and resell antiques. And then I have an older brother that actually does it full-time. He lives out in Cedar, Utah, which is like 3 hours from me. And he's been full-time, probably 8 to 10 years. He loves it. And so that's kind of, it just kind of got to the point where I hated my 9 to 5, and I was like, my brother can do it. Like, it's definitely doable. You know what I mean? The money is there, and I have the drive. So, pull the trigger, and here I am.
Okay. We got a bunch of people in the chat. I wanted to give a shout out here to Nanny Pies, Trinkets, and Doodads is in the house. We have Nikki Pink Thrift is here. Jim's Closet Jims is here. Says, hey, Eric, I wanted to give a shout out to my buddy here, Joey Bought a Bing 22. Your local mailman is here. He says, let's go, let's go. Wendy is here. Nikki Pink Thrift, Flippin' Eric. Jim's Closet Jim says, Zach is looking all mysterious over here. I'm intrigued. Yeah, he's a mysterious guy, so so we're trying to go ahead and talk to him about it. So, hey, man, first of all, I kind of wanted to talk about you. So you're 15 years old. You found out your girlfriend was pregnant. You're not even old enough at that point really to even get a job at McDonald's at 15. So you're like, bro, I've got to make money somehow, some way. So what happened? What happened from here on out? So you're like, I'm 15 years old. You're a 15-year-old kid. I assume you're like in middle school. You're not even in high school yet. And you're like, I've got to make money. So what happened? Like, what did your parents do? Like, were they like pissed off? Tell us. You got to tell us what happened, bro. We got to figure out what happened.
There was a lot of emotions. Yeah, we were shocked. We almost didn't believe it at the, when we found out, because we took the pregnancy test, and it was super shocking because I'm still a kid. Like I just had recess, I swear, like that week, you know what I mean? So it was it was super scary. I have super supportive parents, and they're like, you know what? You're going to keep going to school. You're just going to have to get a job, and you're going to have to take care of this. This is your responsibility. And I said, you know what? Okay. And in Utah, you can get a job at 15, but you can't work past 7 p.m. And so I used to work from like, when I got out of school at like 2:50, I used to work from 3 to 7. So I'd get like my 4 hours, my 4 hours in, but I needed to make more money. So then I just started like riding my bike to thrift stores and picking up stuff in my backpack, and then we're going back home and listing it. Like that's what it came down to, because eBay was making me more money than my job where I was making $7 an hour, or $6.50, whatever it was. But yeah, I just loved it, and I just have a passion for it.
Yeah, and so you started reselling, and then as you grew up and you became an adult, you had a regular job, right? So what was your like regular 9 to 5 job that you were doing? Because you recently had bought a house not too long ago, and you had to have like W-2s, forms in order to show the bank to get financing to buy a house, right? So first of all, congratulations on buying a house. So I'm happy for you. And what was your regular 9 to 5 job that you were doing?
So it was a sales job, and it was pretty much a headhunter for doctors. We used to staff doctors at like hospitals across the country that were like shorthanded, where either a doctor would just retire or suddenly quit, and they needed a replacement as soon as possible. And my job was to find another doctor, and I'd have to convince these doctors to move out of state. Like I'd have to find someone to move to Fargo, North Dakota, or like just somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and we'd have to pay them a bunch of money, and they would eventually do it. But it was a fun job. But then COVID hit, and my company started like, I don't know, they started getting really hard on people and trying to make, they're trying to make more money, which I get. It was a hard time for everybody, but they started canning people. And it kind of got to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, do I have a job tomorrow? Like, and I didn't want to stress about that. So my next goal was to get a rental property. And when you buy a rental property, if you're going to buy one to rent, you have to put down 20%, which is a lot of money. But if you buy one and you move into it and rent out your old one, you only have to put down 5%. So it got to the point where I was like, okay, let's look at houses that we want to move into, and we'll rent out our old house. And so as soon as we closed, the week we closed on our new house, called my boss up, and I'm like, I'm done. And that was it. I was I was doing eBay full time. We ended up paying off all our debt prior to this. A couple years back, we tackled all that, student loans, cars, credit cards. And so we only had the mortgage when I quit, which helped a lot because my wife's a nurse. So like with her income, it was we could get by with just her income if we had to. So there was no stress there.
Okay, cool. I got a quick question for you. Now, how much is your monthly mortgage on your rental property, and how much does it rent out for every month?
So my mortgage is on a 15-year loan, and I think I owe like $185 on it. And the mortgage is like $1,725, and I rent it out for $3,000. So
right.
I'm cash flow like $1,250, $1,275 a month.
Right. So the reason I'm bringing it up, because I always tell people that it's important to have multiple streams of income. So if something did happen and you didn't have your job to rely on, if something happened, your eBay store, God forbid, got suspended, or you had a zero in your account, you still know every month, your wife has a full-time job as a nurse, but you have this rental income coming in from your rental property. So let me say hello to a few people in the chat real quick. Flippin' Eric is here. He says, do you do estate sales in PC? Crazy good stuff up there. Joey Bada Bing says, wow, Zach, that is awesome. And Travis R is in the chat. He wants to know, how many items do you list a day?
Well, I try to list as many as I can. So during the day, what I'll do is I'll just photograph as many items as I can. I got 3 kids that I have one in preschool and one in first grade and one in 6th grade. So taking them to school and stuff kind of slows me down. But whenever I have free time, I'm taking pictures. And then I do my listing at night when I'm laying in bed with my wife watching TV. So I try to get like 10 items a day and up to 20 if I can. But like when I don't have any inventory, that's the hard thing because like I have to go drive around and find thrift stores and stuff. So I've been trying to buy storage units. I've been buying bulk buys online. Someone just hit me up on Instagram to like kind of buy out their eBay store. Like I'm trying to like buy more things. I don't care if I have to put down 2 or 3, 4 grand. If I'm getting, 8, 9, 10 grand in profit, if after I sell everything, I'll put in the work, and that way I can just focus on photographs and stuff. But I try to do 15 items a day, but it's hard.
Well, does your wife support your reselling? Because you guys are sitting here watching TV, and in the meantime, you're over here like drafting, listing items, and she just like, "Hello, I'm paying attention to me. I'm right here." Or is she cool with it? Like, because I get that a lot. It's like, hey, right, go ahead.
Yeah, she's cool with it. I mean, I know that kind of bugs her sometimes. She'll be like, "Hey, you gonna hang out with me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." So I'll put my phone down, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean because it's hard. She wants to hang out with me, watch Netflix and stuff. But I'm so motivated. Right. Like I gotta keep going. Like I don't know.
Right, I'm the same way. Like I'm really like work driven. So some people I'm just like, all right, just put the phone down, pay attention to me. We're having dinner. We're right here face to face. Quit texting. Quit uploading YouTube videos. Don't be posting stuff on eBay. Let's just sit down and have a regular dinner. Because my mind is always going. That's why I was laughing because I'm sure she's just like, hey, Zach, pay attention. I'm right here. So let me say hello to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, the thing is, like, you've got to list the items or they're not going to sell. So let me say hello to a few people in the chat. I wanted to give a shout out to Lewis Moore III. You were on with Lewis not too long ago, live with Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis is awesome.
Flippin' Eric is here. He says, I will hit you up on Instagram. May have some inventory for you. That sounds awesome. We have Brittany, all bossed up, is here. Says hello, everybody. Lewis says, hey, Jen, was 3 minutes late for your live. We have Flip the World is here. I was just talking about you today, Flip the World. I caught part of your live today. You were on with WBK, so that was awesome. Flip the World will be on this weekend on Saturday. So if you guys want to come pick the brand of Flip the World, they're going to be on soon. I wanted to say hello to Regina. Michelle is here. Hey, Regina. And we have a few questions real quick. Flippin' Eric says, what is the best thrift store down there where you live at?
Oh, I would say I got probably 3 spots. So Goodwill on 9th, Draper Savers, and Midvale Savers. So hit up those 3 locations. You'll find some good stuff.
Okay. Wendy has a question. She wants to know, did your parents make you take a DNA test or did they take her word? So when your girlfriend came home and said that she was pregnant with a kid at 15 years old, were they just like, okay, it's got to be yours, or did they take a DNA test? I'm not asking. The chat wants to know. So this is
no,
like, you got to.
You should see him. He's a spitting image of me. And so I don't. And then another word came up like, so he was born. He looked just like my baby pictures, but I ended up actually getting full custody of him right after high school. So like it was just me and him for a long time too. So yeah, he's definitely mine.
Okay, awesome. And Travis R is here. We have a question here from eBliss Reseller Solutions. He says, does your wife help out with listing and shipping, or is it all you?
She used to be into it a lot more. So last year we bought quite a few storage units, and she was totally into it. So she has her own eBay account, and I think she's got probably 180 listings right now. But she's not as into it as I am. That's for sure.
Well, that's awesome that you got her to have her own eBay store, right? So that's all. At least she got started. So at least you guys can speak the same language now. We have a quick question here from the eBay Hustler. He wants to know, are the DIs garbage down there where you're at too?
No, I don't think so. I think the DIs are a lot cheaper than the Goodwills and the Savers here. So if you want to find good product for cheap, you go to the DIs because they don't raise their prices over there. So they've been the same prices for years. Savers and Goodwill just keep going up and up, it seems like.
I totally understand. I feel you. Sometimes I go in there and they're like, I feel like they're almost asking retail prices for stuff they got for free. And I'm thinking like, man, why? What's the deal here? So Wendy says, that's cool that you got full custody. Congratulations. Travis R has a question for you. He says, what items do you sell the most?
Probably, I would say electronics. I've been trying to kind of venture out. I do a lot of electronics, shoes and things like that. But I've been trying to venture out into clothing. I'm not into clothing like most people are, but I'm trying to get more inventory. That's my goal, is just to get more things listed because I want to make more money. But yeah, I would say electronics are my hottest items. That's for sure.
Okay, now this is one of the main things that I brought you on the channel to talk to you about. Earlier, you were talking about how you were able to use the money you made from eBay to pay off debt and get out of debt. So if you don't mind sharing with our audience, tell them what kind of debt you had. I'm sure you had like car payments. Did you have student loans? Did you have credit card bills? Tell us the story about what happened and how you got out of debt. Tell us the story about that.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys know Dave Ramsey. I got super into his stuff in, I think, the beginning of 2019, and he always talks about having a side hustle. And I always did eBay just here and there, but I was like, okay, starting January 2019, like I'm gonna tackle this like full steam and then just see what I can make with it. And so I was doing eBay part time, bringing in like $4,000 a month, and it was just like coming in. And I was working probably 4 or 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and it's taking a lot of my time. But when you're working so much, you don't spend so much, right? Like you're not going out to eat, you're not going to hang out with friends because you're working. And so we had my wife's Jeep, we had my truck, her credit card, and her student loans. And in that year, we ended up paying off, I think it was like 35 grand in debt. And it was all like mostly eBay, because it was just everything that was coming in, we were just tackling it, just throwing it at the debt. And then after the year after, in 2020, that's when we started saving money for a property, because we wanted to get a rental property.
Right. So you said paid off your truck, your wife's Jeep, you paid off student loans, and you said within a year you paid off what, 35,000? You said.
Yeah, it was between 30 and 40 grand.
Right. So if somebody is in a similar situation and maybe they're working a full-time job and maybe they're trying to get out of debt, what piece of advice would you have for this person? If they're just like, man, I have, I have mortgage, I have 2 cars, I have student loan debt, I have credit card bills, but they just feel like they're trapped. Like they think, man, I just feel like I'm trapped. I have all these extra debt. I have all these extra expenses. I have this sword of Damocles over my head. What advice would you give this person if they're like, man, I just don't see any end in sight. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of this. What would you tell them?
I can understand that. I felt that way before. And I think it helps to tackle the small debts first, because say you have 5 different debts and you tackle that first one first, you feel some accomplishment and you keep your drive. So then you go to the 4th one that's the lowest and you tackle that one. I wouldn't worry about interest rates and stuff like that, but just pay the minimum payments on the top 4, tackle the 5th, and then move up the chain, because that will keep you motivated. And that's what helped me.
Right. So start off, like Dave Ramsey says, start off with the lowest and then work your way up, and then you're going to start building momentum. I understand. Yep. I think, last year, I think it was in 2020, my mission was just to get my car paid off, because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I didn't have this $300 a month car payment and not have to pay full coverage insurance, how much money would I be able to save every month from not having to pay car payments? So I'm in the same zone with you as far as that goes, as far as getting out of debt, because if you can do that, it's such a relief on your head. And also you have so much extra money of capital that now you can take this extra money and, like you said, you can invest it in a stock market. You can invest it in buying rental properties. You can put money away for an emergency fund. You can take that money and buy more merchandise to resell on eBay. It's kind of the snowball effect as well, because now you have more capital to invest in your business as opposed to paying off debt. So talk to me a little bit about what was your journey for you to be from working a full-time 9-to-5 job, from now being self-employed. Talk a little bit about how that journey was for you. So if somebody else is in a similar situation, maybe they have a 9-to-5 job that they're working and they want to be like, hey, I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in and peace out and get my own job, leave my job and be self-employed. What talk to me about what was your journey like for you?
I think it helps, since because a lot of people stay at jobs for health insurance, and it's sad because they usually hate their job and they're staying around because of the health insurance. And you may pay a little extra if you're self-employed. I was lucky enough, my wife has health insurance, so we just switched everything over to hers. But I mean, the biggest thing would be tackle that debt. You're going to relieve so much stress if you have a bad week on eBay. Like everybody has bad weeks. The last 2 weeks weren't even that good for me, but I'm not worried about it because I don't have any debt besides the mortgage, and then my rental income's coming in that it pretty much cuts my other mortgage in half. And so it just, I would tackle the debt before you pull the trigger. But it's definitely worth it if you guys are passionate about eBay. Time management is huge, especially when you're self-employed, because you could sleep in till noon if you wanted to, but you gotta manage your time really well. And that's a big struggle for me, because I got my family and stuff, and I'm just working in between a couple hours here and there. But yeah, if you're passionate about it, I advise you to do it. Don't stick around for health insurance if that's the reason why you're staying at the job you hate.
Yeah, and also I wouldn't stick around even if your job has a pension and if you're within 5 years of retirement, I'd stick it out. But if you're 25, 30 years away and they're saying, hey, one day in 25, 30 years from now, you might get a pension, I would just go do your own thing if you're going to be happy, if that's what's going to make you happy. If you're happy at your full-time job and that pays the bills, there's nothing wrong with working your full-time job and doing eBay reselling on the side. There's people that do reselling and they go out to yard sales and they work Friday, Saturday, Sunday out there hunting for bargains, and they do it on the weekends and make $800 or $1,000 a week. So you can still crush it doing it part-time. But, I just wanted to ask you how you were able to do that because you have a family as well. And you were able to just eventually over a period of time say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm ready to put my 2 weeks notice in and kind of do my own thing. So how has that been for you? Like, how do you stay motivated now that you don't have a full-time job and you don't have a boss to report to every day? Like, how do you schedule your day and how do you stay motivated to list? Like, if you have a bad day and maybe your sales are slow, maybe you're tired, you don't feel good, you're not in the mood of listing items, you don't feel like going out sourcing, like, how do you stay motivated to keep hustling and doing your own thing, running your business?
Well, I think a lot of it is like Instagram. I mean, you talk to so many resellers on Instagram, and the community on reselling is insane. Like, you don't get that. Like, any job you've ever had, you've never met these kind of people, and they're just so supportive, and they keep you motivated. And you see people's sales and what they're doing on their their stories and stuff like that. Garage selling, thrifting, and like, I love what I do. But having Instagram with all those people that follow me and like just support me and like just like even if they comment congratulations, like whatever it is, like I love that stuff. And you just don't get that at other jobs. And I think having the Instagram, if you guys don't have Instagram and you guys aren't like active on there, I advise that because that helps me out so much. I love the people on there. The reselling community is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's also important if you can have somebody else, kind of like an accountability partner, whether you have a friend, family, coworker, whoever, just somebody that's kind of in your ear saying, hey, did you get your items listed today? Did you pack? Did you ship? Like, if you have somebody else who's a reseller that you can relate to, because when you're working your regular traditional 9-to-5 job, you have that water cooler moment where you guys are all sitting around the water cooler and you have people you can sit down and relate to and talk to about your job. But when you work and you're self-employed, it's just you. So if you have somebody else who's a buddy or a friend or people that can keep you accountable, or you can just, like I do sometimes, once a week, I'll sit down and do a listing live, and I'll have different people on every week, and we'll just sit down and list items together. So that way you don't feel like you're alone. So even if you don't feel motivated, you have other people kind of put your feet to the fire and kind of hold you accountable. Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. Travis R is here. He says, I didn't know that because usually fast haven't sold for me, eBliss Reseller Solutions. Flippin' Eric says, eBay has been decent, but I'm not listing much, selling my house. That's awesome. eBliss Reseller Solutions says, eBay has been slow the past 2 weeks for the summer slowdown. Well, even if things are slow, I would just keep listing items, stuff that's going to sell. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see, I just went and did sourcing. My whole back seat is full of merchandise and art, so just keep hustling. Still go out and keep sourcing, keep listing, even if your sales are slow. Like, when I sit down, this is what I do. When I sit down to list items on eBay, I think about it as I'm depositing a blank check into my eBay bank account, right? So if I'm listing a $20 item, I feel like I'm writing myself a $20 check and then deposit it into my eBay bank account. So eventually it may not sell today or tomorrow, but it's going to sell. So it's the same way when you're depositing a check in your bank account and you're waiting, a week, 2 weeks, 30 days or whatever for that check to clear the bank. You want to keep listing items and you want to keep depositing checks into your eBay bank account. And then whenever you hear ka-ching, your item sells. So it's definitely worth it. I wanted to say hey to Travis R. Regina says, my job is an investment. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. Like you said, with reselling on eBay and Amazon, your sales are going to go up and down and fluctuate. And if you have a steady paycheck coming in every week, that's great as well. I mean, I work my regular job still every week. And it's nice to know that even if I have a bad week or a bad month in sales, I still have a regular check coming in every week. I wanted to say hey to Joey Bada Being 22. He says, Zach, you're a beast, man. And Flippin' Eric says, I love my 9-to-5. And I want to give a shout out to Aqua Girl 11111. So thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. So Zach, talk to me, man. How long have you been a full-time reseller now. How long has it been since you quit your regular 9-to-5 job?
I actually put in my notice, like, I think it was January 15th or something like that. So what, 4.5 months? Yeah, roughly.
Okay. And what advice would you have for other resellers, whether they're full-time or part-time? Like, what would be your top 3 pieces of advice that you would give somebody if they wanted to be a reseller that would help them out?
I would say try to list every single day. I know that sounds easy, but when you list, even if you list 2 or 3 items a day, that will keep the ball rolling, and you guys will start seeing the sales come in, and it'll keep you motivated. And then you'll end up putting 5 items and 10 items on a day. So I would just say, try to list every single day if you can.
Okay. Do you have anything else off the top of your head that you could tell us? Because if you list every day and you stay active on eBay, that definitely helps the computer algorithm. But is there anything else that you would recommend? Like, how important is it for you to reinvest money back in your business? So let's say you made $1,000 in 1 week on eBay. How much of that money would you reinvest to buy in merchandise to put back on your eBay store? And how much of that money do you pay yourself?
Oh, that's kind of, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to say. So if I have inventory, I don't even go thrifting. So like, I just recently spent $1,000 in cedar, picked up, so my brother does eBay, right? He bought like 3 or 4 storage units, and he's got so much stuff. So he just sold me a bunch of stuff for $1,000, and I'll easily probably double or triple my money. And it'll take me a while to list everything because there's probably 200 items. But if I have inventory, I don't go thrifting, but like, I always keep probably like $3 to $5 grand in savings ready to go if I ever needed to buy something. Like the guy that hit me up on Instagram I was telling you about, I'm supposed to meet with him this weekend, and he's going to sell me a bunch of stuff for like $2 grand, but I'll make like $5 grand on it. So it just kind of one of those things. You always have to keep some money on the side, just ready to jump on something like that. So especially storage units, if you see something online, while we're talking about storage units, if you guys go to storagetreasures.com, you just type in your zip code, and it will show storage units in your area that are for sale, and they're pretty cheap on there, guys. You might find some good stuff.
So where are all the places that you source at? I mean, you talked about storage units. I'm sure you hit thrift stores. Where are some of the other places that you go sourcing at? And do you have like a route? Do you go sourcing every day or like once a week? Like, talk a little bit about your sourcing techniques and strategies.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anybody's been out here to Utah, it's insane how many storage units are out here, or not storage units, thrift stores are out here. So like, I have 2 different routes where I'll hit like 5 to 8 stores in a row. So I'm not hitting them every day or every other day. So I'll mix it up. But I'm hitting the swap meets up on Sunday, go to the garage sales on Saturday, and then Monday they don't put out new stuff, so I usually don't go sourcing on Mondays. And then Tuesday to Friday, I'll go to thrift stores if I need some inventory. But there's so many thrift stores out here in Utah, it's crazy.
Right. So there's no shortage of merchandise where you're at. There's only as long as you're willing to go out and hustle, you'll find something. So let's give me a shout out here real quick to my buddy Resell Dojo is in the chat. He said Zach is the king of ski goggles. What's the story on these ski goggles, man? You got to tell us.
Well, I mean, yeah, Utah, everybody's known for, we're known for skiing and snowboarding, but it seems like everybody's getting a new pair and they're just donating their old pair. And so I find goggles all the time. Like, I found these Smiths goggles at a garage sale. I think I paid $15 for them, and I sold them for like $150 because they were like mint, brand new in the case. Yeah. So I always post on my Instagram all the ski goggles I find because it's easy money.
All right, awesome. I wanted to give a shout out to my buddy here, the Cap Guy. He's at 900 subscribers. He's really close to 1,000. So if you guys get a chance, go check out the Cap Guy and JT. I want to try to help him get to 1,000 subscribers. My buddy here, the Flipping Accountant, he says, "What's going on, everybody?" He's been blowing up. I think he just hit 6,000 subscribers recently. And here's the man of the hour here, Osborne the Thrift. He says, "Ooh, who is that?" And he says, "Autocorrect hurts my insults." So have you met up with Tim from Osborne the Thrift yet?
Yeah. I haven't met Tim, but we've talked through Instagram quite a few times. He's a cool dude.
Well, yeah, if you get a chance, you should check him out, man. Definitely. I mean, he just hit 6,000 subscribers. So if you get a chance, you should go by and check him out, man. I don't know how, man. Tim makes sales in his sleep. It's like he wakes up and it's like before his feet hit the ground, he has $1,000 deposited in his eBay account. I don't know. It just blows up, and it blows up. The Flipping Accountant says, "Nice try, Tim." and the Cap Guy says he's at 930. So you know what, Cap Guy, you and Cajun Roots Reseller, both of you guys probably within next month of June, both of you guys are going to hit 1,000 subscribers, and then we'll party, we'll celebrate. It's going to be awesome. So Zach, man, talk to me about how do you go about, like, what does your daily routine and schedule look like for you being a full-time reseller? Because you know your wife works as a nurse, and then do you take the kids and drop them off at the school in the morning, and then you have time to sit and list and pack and ship? Or how does that work for you? Like, what is your daily routine? What does your daily schedule look like?
Well, I try to go. So as soon as I wake up, the kids are getting ready for school and stuff, and they have the two older ones hop on the bus down the street. They get on at like 9 a.m. And if my wife's not working, I go to the gym. I try to squeeze the gym in as much as I can. I'd rather work than go to the gym, but I try to stay healthy. And my niece, she has preschool for 3 days a week. And so I'm picking her up and dropping her off. But I mean, every time in between, I'm taking photographs and wrapping and trying to get everything out as soon as possible. I'm big on getting everything that's sold out the door almost the same day or the next day. Just because I want that positive feedback. So I'll as soon as something sells, I usually wrap it right then and there and try to get it out the door. I schedule all my USPS pickups at my front door, and the lady just walks by and picks it up off my porch, which is super nice. If you guys don't know that, you just go to USPS.com, put in your address, and you guys can schedule pickups for free, no charge. So, but other than that, man, I mean, at night I'm just listening, and I just try to list as many as I can, just trying to keep busy.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to say hey to the flipping accountant. The Cap Guy is here. The flipping accountant says, Zach, thanks for the tip with the storage unit websites. Never heard of that one before. Travis R says, thanks, Zach, about the storage treasure sites. Cajun Roots Reseller is here. He says, I just subbed to you, Zach. We were just talking about you, Cajun Roots Reseller. He's at about 950 subscribers. I was actually a guest on Cajun Roots Reseller's YouTube channel yesterday for his Monday morning coffee. So if you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, I was actually a surprise guest there yesterday morning. The Cap Guy says, I leave for Maui in July. Would love to hit 1,000 subscribers by there. Been filming a lot, even thrifting in Maui. I want to see that. You know what, Cap Guy, when you go to Maui, if you go in there, you need to get one of those little hula things around your head that you can wear when you're out thrifting there in Maui. I want to see that. You know, that would be awesome. E-Will is here. He says, that's great, TJ and the Cap Guy. The flipping accountant says, Tim enjoys robbing Utah. He buys vintage blenders for $5 and parts it out for $900. I know, man. I know. He is the man right here. Osborne the Thrift says, Joey. Hustlin' Hooks says, time to get back to work. Take care. Hey, Hustlin' Hooks, thank you for coming by and hanging out with us today. We appreciate you. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out Hustlin' Hooks channel, you should go by and check them out. The Joey Bada Bing, our local mailman, says, I'll come get your packages. And let's see who else is here in the chat I want to say hi to. Cajun Roots Reseller says, I'm at 951 as of this morning. Yeah, definitely. If you guys didn't get a chance, check out Cajun Roots Reseller and the Cap Guy. I want to see both of them hit 1,000 subscribers by next month. The Resell Dojo says, I bet Justin will hit a Lego storage unit. and Cajun Roots Reseller says, I was just logging in and heard my name. Oh, we lost our guest. I didn't kick him out. Hang on. He's back, I think. Well, he's back. I was like, I didn't kick him out. I promise. So the eBay Hustler says, the Cajun Roots Reseller says, I'm heading out to our lake house tomorrow. We'll enjoy and have a great trip. The eBay Hustler says there's a lot of other ways to get health in shape, I believe. And he says, me and TJ are going to be paddle boarding. He says, I will be live next week with a show at the lake house. TJ, Cap Guy says, then eaten by a tiger shark. Joey Bada Bing says, Tim is the guy. Osborne the Thrift says, if storage units become your thing, I'm going to go down there and buy them all up too. So
I believe
awesome.
it.
Thank
He
everybody
will.
in the chat. Yeah, he will. Osborne the Thrift's been killing it. So if you guys haven't got a chance to check out Osborne the Thrift channel, I would go by and subscribe there. So a couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about your YouTube channel, Zach. You recently started a YouTube channel in the past couple of months. Talk to us about that. What possessed you to start a YouTube channel? And if I come to your YouTube channel and subscribe, what will I find there at your YouTube channel? Do you have what sold videos? Tell us what you do there on your YouTube channel.
Well, I do a little bit of kind of a little bit of everything. So I talk about my rental property. I talk about some items I've sold, some big weekends and sales I've had. I'm doing a video right now. I should have it completed today on a storage unit I bought last week. I found some pretty cool stuff, and I think you guys will like it. I profit a lot of good items in there. So, and I think it'd be kind of cool to see kind of what point of view of someone buying a storage unit. So that will go up either today or tomorrow. But the reason I started YouTube was just because I have Instagram going, and everybody I follow has a YouTube channel. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it out and see if I can, grow something out of it. It's very time consuming. Like, I don't know how Tim does it. Tim thrifts all day and then lists all day, and he still has time to edit videos. Like, it's so time consuming, but that's what I want to do. I want to eventually grow my YouTube channel and see what I can make with it. That's for sure.
Okay, awesome. Now I got an off the wall question for you. Who are your top 3 YouTubers that you enjoy watching when you have free time? If you have downtime and you're in the back listing items, or you're outsourcing, or you're at a red light, or you're just out riding around, who is your top 3 favorite YouTubers, resellers that you enjoy watching?
Yeah, it'd have to be Harry Tornado. I always watch his videos. He's got good videos and he's entertaining. I watch Tim and Hustlin' Hooks. It's crazy how many sales that Tim and Hustlin' Hooks get. They like kill it, and they get you motivated. And so they sell totally off the wall things, and you learn new items from them. And so I try to ingest as much things as I can with eBay, because there's so much to learn. Even though how many years you've done it, like, there's still tons of stuff to learn. And so I enjoy their videos. Okay,
so you got Osborne the Thrift, Hustlin' Hooks, and then Harry Tornado. Those are 3 really good ones. I'm subscribed to all of those channels. Osborne the Thrift says the trick is I have a death pile the size of Texas. So are you on team death pile or team no death pile?
I try to extinguish my death pile every chance I get, because I hate it. I hate it.
I buy big lots of merchandise lately, and I don't mind having a death pile of items kind of like stored in my shed, because you never know when you're going to have a lockdown, or you never know when something's going to happen, or you can't go out in stores. Sometimes you may hit up 3, 4, 5 thrift stores, and sometimes I just come home empty-handed with nothing. I'll go out and hustle and look for merchandise. Sometimes I'll find stuff, and sometimes I don't. Like today, I just hit up a thrift store and I spent $5, and I should be able to turn $5 into $70 worth of merchandise. But the thing is, I only came home with 5 items, And so, I think it's kind of important that if you have a bad day or a slow day, or maybe it's pouring down rain outside, or you don't feel good, or you have a flat tire, you might have merchandise just sitting there on the side, and you're just like, oh, well, it's pouring down rain outside. I can't go to thrift stores or yard sales. You have merchandise right there on hand that you can be listing. So that way you don't have no excuses of saying, well, I just didn't have nothing to list. You have items there to list, So I just it's got to be in the routine. It's almost like when you get up, when you were talking about earlier about going to the gym, I think eBay is kind of the same thing, where you have to kind of have a daily routine where you're like, okay, I have merchandise here to list. It needs to be in my daily routine that I list items, I pack, I ship, I go sourcing. Like, it has to be part of your daily schedule, your daily routine. So let me say hello to Sal was in the chat. He says, Zach doesn't mess around. Keep it up. Congratulations on your success and growing family. We have Nadika Fines is here. Says, howdy, everybody. Cajun Roots Reseller saying hello. Nikki Pink Thrift says, great interview. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. We have BK from the Rockies is here. He says, drop questions in the chat. Hey, BK, we appreciate you for coming by. And we have the question from the Flippin' Accountant. He says, what platforms do you sell on, Zach? He wants to know what platforms you sell on.
Yeah, so I mostly do eBay. I started Amazon FBA back in November, and I've been selling used books. And I'm actually meeting with someone to help me get ungated and get my seller permit next week. And so that's my goal, is to grow my Amazon FBA account so I can start, working on that as well, because it's hard when you're doing eBay. You have to store all your items. And so I have a room in my basement just full of stuff. I have like 500 active listings, and my wife has 180. So that room is just packed. And that's why I want to kind of tackle Amazon FBA, because everything you just ship in. And so that's my goal, is to kind of grow my Amazon FBA account over this year.
Hey, Aqua Girl, I have all the links to Zach is in the description below. His Instagram and YouTube. If you click the description below, all his links are down below. But go ahead and tell them where they can find you at on YouTube and Instagram, so they can go by and check you out.
Yeah, right on my name. If you guys, I don't know if they can see it on my screen. Utahn Bought And Gone. through Instagram and YouTube and TikTok as well. So check that out.
Okay, cool. And Travis R says, do you sell on Facebook Marketplace?
I do locally. I don't, and that's usually my bulky items. If I don't want to, like, if I find a vacuum that's worth a couple $100, I'll usually try to sell it locally before I sell it on eBay. But I haven't tried shipping on Facebook. Do you do any shipping through Facebook?
Me personally, no. I have 2 eBay stores. I sell 95% of all my merchandise on eBay. Some other big bulkier items that I don't want to ship, I post them on OfferUps locally, and that way I don't have to pay any fees. And if somebody wants to come by and pick up an item, like let's say a couple of weeks ago, I had this. It was a combo DVD VHS player, and I think I picked it up at the thrift store for $5, and it was big and bulky, and I didn't want to ship it, so I took a picture of it and I posted it on OfferUp locally. Some guy showed up, handed me $50 cash. I handed him the VHS and DVD combo player, and he went on his way. The whole transaction took 2 minutes out of my day, and I got cash, and he got his DVD VHS combo player, and I didn't have to pay any fees. So that's what I've been doing. We have a question from E-Will. He wants to know, would you like to eventually grow into a warehouse or keep things smaller at home? So what is your plans as far as your reselling business? Do you plan on growing and expanding? Like, what is your goals for maybe next year, or what do you see yourself in 3 years from now?
Well, that's funny that she asked that. So I actually had a meeting with I met with a broker 2 days ago and kind of just sat down with him and chatted with him a little bit. So he sells and buys houses quite a bit. And when he does, there's a lot of stuff that people leave behind and they just don't want to move with them. And so me and him are partnering up. We're going to meet again in a couple of weeks. I'm going to meet all his real estate agents. He's got 20 real estate agents that they're going to call me when they sell these houses that have stuff in them. And I'll go in there and clean them out. And if it gets big enough, I'm probably going to have to get a warehouse. And so, I mean, we'll just see how it works out. But that's my goal, is to just keep growing, because I want to expand my business. And it'd be awesome to get maybe an employee down the road. I definitely, thought about that. But yeah, right now we're just kind of seeing how this thing pans out with that broker.
Okay, awesome. So how many items do you currently actively have listing between your eBay and Amazon stores? How many items do you have listed right now?
So I have like 500 on Amazon FBA, and I have about 500 on eBay, so 1,000.
Okay, awesome. Now, most of our audience sells mainly on eBay, but what advice would you give somebody if they wanted to start selling on Amazon? Because the biggest complaint that I hear from people, they say, hey, I'm a new seller on Amazon and I'm gated and everything. Like every time it's like I run into a brick wall. Every time I want to sell something on Amazon, I'm gated in that category. And it's almost like you have invisible handcuffs, like golden handcuffs around you. So what would you say if someone wanted to start selling on Amazon FBA? Do you have any quick tips or tricks or any advice for them that you can help them along with reselling on Amazon?
Yeah, I would say definitely do it, because you guys are at the thrift stores anyways. I spend maybe 15, 20 minutes scanning books, and I bought my scanner on Amazon. It was $40. I use this app called Scout IQ that's $14 a month. It tells me the exact profit of the book, and it'll make it like a ka-ching sound when you find a good book, and then if it's like a bad book, it'll make it like a dull sound. So I just sit there and scan, and every once in a while I'll get a ka-ching, and like it's amazing. Like I bring home like probably $800 every 2 weeks on used books from Amazon FBA. And I don't even do it full time. I probably go scanning books like twice, maybe 3 times a week for an hour and a half. So like if you guys are in the thrift stores, buy your scanner, buy your Scout IQ app, and create an Amazon seller account and start doing it, because it's easy money and the profit's there. I mean, you might have other booksellers there, but they put out books every day. And so it's insane how much value is in books. I walked into Savers probably like last month, and the cart lady brought it out right when I was walking. I started scanning books, and I found like $450 in textbooks in 5 minutes. So it's just crazy.
What sales rank do you look at? If you guys don't know, on Amazon, they have a sales rank on there, and it's like from maybe 1 to 1 million. And the lower the sales rank is, the higher the velocity. And what is the profit margins you're looking at? So you walk up, you're scanning these books. What is like the profit margin? Are you looking at buying a book for $1 and selling it for 15 or 20? Or what is the sales rank, and what is the profit margin you're looking at if you're looking for used books to sell on Amazon?
Yeah, so with that Scout IQ app, you can actually put in the cost of the book, and it calculates shipping and Amazon fees and everything. It'll give you the exact breakdown of your exact profit, which is super nice. I pick up anything that's $2 or more, under 1 million rank. So if it's over 1 million rank, it's got to be like a $15 or up book. And I usually don't pick anything up over 2 million, unless it's like a $60 book or something like that. I'll let it sit for a while. But yeah, I try to stay under 1 million, and I pick up anything over $2 a piece.
So as long as you're going to make at least $2 profit, you'll buy it.
Yep.
Well, it must be working for you. You said you're making about $1,800 or $800 every 2 weeks. So is there anything else?
It's crazy.
Talk to me about what things do I need to buy? You said a scanner. You said, you need to have the Amazon app. What was the other one, the other software that you recommended? Was it Scout IQ?
Yeah, I use Scout IQ. So if you have to create an account on a desktop. If you do it on your phone, they're going to charge you a lot more. But if you do it month to month, it's $14 a month, or you can pay for the whole year up front, which I did, and it broke down to $10 a month. It was $120, and I'm paid through the whole year. But it's definitely worth the money, because you could scan through so many books with that app, and it's so quick and easy.
Okay, Joey Bada Bing asked a question. He says, "What is the scanner again? The Bluetooth scanner? Can you talk a little bit about that? What is the scanner that we need? You should make a video about that maybe next week on your channel, so everybody knows how to do it. What kind of scanner is it that we need to get?"
Oh, I actually do have a YouTube video on that. If you guys are thinking about doing books, go to my YouTube channel. I have one from start to finish. From scanning books to finishing the whole shipment order through Amazon FBA. So, but the scanner I use is called eYoYo. It was $39.99. It's like the cheapest model they have for that brand, and I love it. I mean, it's a basic one. It's Bluetooth, links to your phone and links to the app, and you just get scanning, and it saves you so much time. That way, you don't have to carry your phone around trying to scan with your phone.
Yeah, awesome. And do you use Inventory Labs or not? Like when you go ahead and scan the items to ship them into Amazon FBA, do you use Inventory Labs or any other system like that, or you just use the Amazon Seller app?
At first, I used the Amazon Seller app, but I was finding books so often, I invested in a seller list, and I think it's $34 a month. And yeah, it makes the process so much quicker, because it actually floods all your information in for you. And then you just pretty much type in your condition of the book and what the price you want for the book, and then it prints a label for you.
Okay, awesome. The eBay Hustler just said something about health insurance. Lots of ways to do it for yourself. Do you buy your own health insurance, or are you under your wife's plan? Because you said your wife is a nurse full time. So do you have health insurance with your wife as well? Does she have the health insurance that covers you and your family?
Yeah, when I quit my job, we switched everything from mine over to hers, and that's why I was able to quit.
Okay, awesome. Now, so tell everybody where they can find you at again on YouTube and Instagram, so they can go by and check you out. I have your links down below, but let them know where they can go by and check you out, so they can go ahead and subscribe to you and check you out on Instagram.
Yeah, on my name, it's Utahn Bought And Gone. I'm on both Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, check it out. I post a lot on my story, even when I'm going thrifting or anything I think that is post worthy. I'll throw it on there just so you guys can see it. So yeah, I'm trying to grow both.
Okay, cool. Stephanie is here. She says, "I just saw you're from Utah. What part of Utah?" She says, "I live in South Ogden."
Oh, cool. I'm in South Jordan.
Okay, cool. Now, is there any particular niche of merchandise that you're out hunting for when you're out at a thrift store or a yard sale or something? Is there any particular niche that you look for, or anything that you can make a profit on?
Yeah, I grab everything and anything. Honestly, I mean, there's so much potential out there, and there's a lot of resellers. So you got to broaden your horizon, because if you're stuck to one thing like shoes or clothing, like you got to venture out, because there's so many resellers, and they're doing the same thing you're doing. So you got to grow your inventory, and you got to try different items. That's for sure. I look at everything.
Yeah, awesome. So before we let you go, you got to give us any kind of other piece of advice that you would have to help other new resellers. If someone is new to reselling, or maybe they're reselling part-time, what is some advice that you could give our audience?
Yeah, well, I've been super into investing, right? So if I could tell you guys anything, if you don't have a 401k, get that. That's huge. And if you can't get a 401k, do a Roth IRA. You guys will appreciate it when you guys are older.
Well, Zach, you're breaking up.
Future, because oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You there? we lose you?
Yeah, you broke up for a second. Go ahead. Zach,
Yeah.
you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying if you guys could invest in your futures. Or rob for your future. That's
right. Yeah. Hey, Zach, you're breaking up really bad, buddy. So Zach was saying invest in like a 401k. They have like a SEP 401k, which is almost like a Roth IRA or a self-employment 401k type of deal. You can do that, and you can also probably invest in a Roth IRA. I think that's what he said. Hey, Zach, you're breaking up really bad, buddy, so I'm going to let you go. Can you give us your final thoughts before we let you go? Zach? Oh. I think we lost him.
Joining the video.
Yeah, go ahead and give us your final thoughts, and we'll let you go, man. You keep freezing out.
Oh, I was just saying, hey, hit me up on Instagram if you guys were on this video. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Hey, thanks for coming on today, and thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys this weekend on Saturday. I'm going to be on with Flip the World. Will be here Saturday. And if you want to learn how they run their business and they get items for free out of a dumpster and resell them on eBay, it's going to be fun. So I will see you guys Saturday afternoon at 4 for a live stream with Flip the World. Till then, you guys have a great one and have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.